Oh! This movie was so It's horrible. This movie is the worst movie I've seen out of the series so far. Friday the 13th Part 3, 3D, I guess, if you want to call it that. But I didn't get to see it in 3D. I was about to, but they didn't give you any glasses in the set I have for some reason, even though they give you the option of doing it 3D. That's besides the point. We're going to talk about the movie at itself. Okay, so there's less characters this time, which you can also kind of enjoy, but you could also they just didn't flesh anybody out. Like they try to make a subplot between uh Shelly and this other girl that he brung on with the camping, but it just didn't work at all because it was gone in an instant. Jason just killed her right afterwards, so it doesn't even matter. They didn't do anything to these characters, and also they tried to give this other girl like a backstory of like meeting Jason before, I guess, but it was done by so quick, and this one uncut part of just them fighting was like it was just so weird, and this would never go down. Actually, it looked like they were like Jason was trying to act. It looked like Jason actually cared for this part a little bit, which is good, and it's a good setback. And now this is the movie that brings Jason's mask. Finally, we've gotten it out of 2 movies. Jason's finally in it, and he has his mask. So if you guys are wondering, this is the movie that has him in it. Anyway, Crazy Ralph is not in this movie anymore. But he wasn't really much of a character, but now it's a guy who has an eyeball. What? I actually forgot about that part, and I forgot it was even a Friday the 13th movie at that part. There is one scene in the movie that does give me a really good chill factor, and that's when she wakes up in the boat again. I mean, it's not Alice anymore, obviously, but they just ripped off the first movie, and then when she woke up in the boat, she saw Jason in the window, and he was like trying to smash window. That scared me, and he was like running out, chasing after her. That scared me a little bit. Okay, that did get me a little bit. But that's like the only that part of the movie that actually scared me. There's also this biker gang that like stole their gas. So obviously the cliche, the car didn't work. Yeah, so they were absolutely nothing, and they just got all killed by Jason. Woo woo. Who cares? There's just so many continuity errors in this movie. It's unbelievable. It's oh my god. There's just so many parts where it's just like, what are they doing? Like especially like in the beginning of the movie, why is there this like wife and husband just nagging at each other? And why does he have a bunny rabbit? Why is there a snake there? And why does he have so many doors in his bathroom? If you guys watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But why does he have so many connecting doors to his bathroom? There should only be one, in and out. It doesn't make any sense at all. Mako was pretty good on Jason, even though you didn't really get to see it until he put the hockey mask on. Then sent when he flipped it up, and there were a few parts afterwards. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The characters, I could care less about the characters. They have no, and you think because there's less, they would have more of like a character trait to them. And besides, like, oh, here's the guy who does pranks all the time, and when he does die, people don't know that he's actually dead. There's there's like people who smoke weed. I don't understand this movie at all. I mean, there's less people, obviously, that makes for more captivating cast of characters, but they don't really do much. Like, I didn't even know, like, I actually knew if this guy was a jock in the second movie. This movie, I didn't know what this guy was. If he died, I did not care at all. Literally, I didn't care about it at all. And it seems like horror movies, sometimes they try to bring out the characters, sometimes they don't. Pick your poison. If you're not going to, then cool. If you're going to, then cool. But they tried to in this movie, but they also, like, didn't. So it just didn't work. It just didn't. Like, it's just, ugh. Oh, it's funny how he gets a mask in this movie. So a Chopper prayed. I'm going to call him a Chopper. That's what they call him in the video game. Shelly, if you want to call him. If you want to actually be that guy, just call him by the movie name or whatever. So Shelly had the hockey mask, and then after Jason killed him, he got that mask, and then he proceeded to shoot a girl down that thought it was Shelly. That's why you never play pranks on people, guys. Obviously. Also, the location is like in one house. It's kind of like the Purge movie, where it's like only in this one house. You don't really ever get to go out to the streets and see what's actually going on. Like the whole movie is just literally in this one house. And of course, let's talk about the great 3D in this movie. Even though I didn't really get to see it, I could tell what parts were supposed to be 3D and what parts weren't. Of course, it's like Jaws 3D. It's the same thing. Directed by the same guy as the first movie. No, not first movie. Second movie. And I gotta say, he does a fine job, I guess. But this movie seemed like it was more pieced together, you know? but that also make it feel like I was less scared inside. Like when I was watching the second movie, a lot of parts made me like get like actually kind of scared inside, and there's only like one or two parts where it actually made me get that scared. Like before in the second and the first movie, I was like on edge the whole time. That's what kind of made them a bit good, except for everything else in the second movie. But what he did this time was he like I guess he did more fast cuts. Like in the past movies before, they always lingered on this like one shot for like 4 minutes, which seems like a lot, and it is a lot. Trust me. But sometimes, and when it's not 4 minutes, that's way too long. But sometimes when it's just lingering, you think something's gonna happen, and then it doesn't. You're kind of disappointed, but at the same time, you like that's what makes it so creepy. Is that you don't have to have fast editing or fast cuts to make the movie scary. It actually makes it less scary because you're already done with that part. And maybe that's just me talking, but if you spend a little bit more time, maybe on like one shot, then it makes the whole area and the whole atmosphere of that scene. I'm sounding like such a professor. I'm really not. I'm just saying, but it makes that whole area of that scene feels like so much more like what can possibly be there. And yes, I felt that in this movie, but not as much because they were just done with one scene so quickly. And horror movies aren't made like action movies. Action movies have a bunch of cuts to make the fight look good. And this movie, they decided to leave in a long clip when they were doing a fight. Okay, doesn't make any sense. Okay, this director, he did okay, I guess. Some of the shots were pretty good, I guess. There's only like a few creepy parts in the movie. Would I recommend anybody to see it? And also the second movie, would I recommend the second movie? Yeah, if you're fans of the first movie, I would probably go see that one. This movie, you could skip over, honestly. It doesn't really add much to the story, I think. It's just another one of those things. Hopefully, I heard the fourth movie is actually a bit decent, so I'll have to check that one out too. Fifth movie, I forgot, but I think the fifth movie was actually really bad. And then the sixth movie I heard is really good. And I think I've seen bits and pieces. It looks really good, so I can't wait to watch the sixth movie. That's in a long time, though. So that's in 3 days from now. Dang it. But anyway, that was my review of the third movie. What are my thoughts? It could have been better. It could have been fleshed out more characters. I mean, you don't have to in a horror movie. All you want to see is people dying. But I mean, it seemed like they wanted to too, but they just messed up, and that's kind of like how the second movie was too. But the second movie didn't really, I think he cared a little bit. The director cared a little bit more about the second movie than this one. But this one just didn't really go for me. So I'm gonna give this movie 2.5 out of 10. That's like the worst score I've ever gotten on any movie that I've reviewed so far. But there's only like a few parts that actually, felt good to me and, felt like I actually like wanted to see more. Most of the movie was like, subplot, but it didn't really work. There's just a lot of boring parts in the movie. If you really like the Friday the 13th series, see this movie. But if you don't really care for it that much, you could skip over it. Watch 6 or something. That's good. But hopefully, I hope, because like I said, it's in decent pieces, and it's like I've heard a lot of reviews, really good, but that's other people. I have to have my own opinion, and you guys are going to hear that opinion in 3 days. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Way down now, because I didn't watch the fourth one yet. I only watched. Anyway, enough of me babbling. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hope you got a little bit of an insight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.